guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ife, and on this channel I talk about faith, I talk about relationship, and I also talk about real life issues. Today's video I have two gentlemen with me, and we are going to be talking about grief. But before then, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you get notified when a new video drops. Please like and leave a comment, and most importantly, please don't forget to share these videos so that it can help one or two people that are in this situation. Grief is a journey that everybody will one day walk through, because everybody must die. We don't just know the timing, but everybody must die. And in our journey, we tend to lose people along the way. And I feel like people go through that journey, but they don't really know how to cope or live with it. Yes, but I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. They just go on like the world just goes on. If somebody dies today, everybody will just mourn and the world continues going on. But the people that are in that situation, they don't really know how to figure out life after them. But since people don't talk about it, they are just buried in that emotion, like in a tunnel of darkness. And I feel like talking about it can help one or two people navigate that situation. So please, can you just introduce yourself to the viewers, starting from you?
No, I get respect. I get respect.
Don't worry, talk.
Okay, my name is IfeOluwa. I'm 31, a procurement supervisor, and firstborn of 4 kids. Dad is late. My wife is late. Come from a close-knit family, so we are really close and stuff. So that's all. Very simple man, simple family.
My name is Namdi. I'm 36. I'm a businessman. I'm a dad. I'm from a family of 5. Mom is late. I'm married now, but I lost my first wife. Just a simple guy.
Thank you so much. So, from what we can see, I can see that both of you have gone on a journey of loss even before you lost your spouses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you feel like the emotions were the same, or do you feel like every death has its own specific reaction?
I mean, every day has its own separate reaction because of the relationship you have with the person.
Okay.
So it's just that's the foundation. But for me, I was young when my dad died, so I think I was in first semester. So it wasn't, the emotions were there, but at that time, I might have been in university, but I was still really young. I was 16 at that time, so
It didn't really hit you
it
so
didn't
much.
really, exactly, it didn't really hit you so much. I think it was just the first day, second day, of which I wasn't even told the day he died.
Okay.
I think I was told like a week after, because that was when I was coming back from school.
Okay.
So most people had already gone through maybe a few stages of grief before I
Before you were aware.
Before I was aware. So it wasn't the same. But with my wife, it was a lot more
Intense.
yes.
Okay. So, Che, do you think it was the same?
I don't think it's the same. Everybody experience different emotions. I lost my mom first, I think 2012. Yeah, 2012. I just started working then, and the sad part was, or rather the saddest part was, she died in my arms. Yeah, and same with my wife too. She died in my arms too. So it's different. There's only so much you can tell, but everybody handles grief differently.
Okay, so before we jump ahead of the gun, I just want you guys to talk about your wives, because obviously, okay, you're a widower, but you were a widower before. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like your wife, and maybe, if you don't mind, like the situation surrounding her death?
I dated her, or rather, we dated for like 4 years before we got married, so I knew her very well. She was very close to my family members. We got married in 2015. Yeah, November of 2015. and I lost her in 2017. Yeah, after 2 years, after the birth of my first daughter. It was the post-surgery complication, and everything happened so fast, and it was just so brief.
Okay.
Oh, I can talk.
Are
I'm
you
good.
sure? You're
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
You probably need tissues.
I'm just trying to put the whole thing together in my head because it's so long and yet it's very brief.
Sure.
Yeah. Because if I start explaining everything, I don't need tissue. Okay. After the whole CS, she was fine. She was actually discharged, and we went home. Then after some days, she complained of pain at the surgery site. So I took her back to the hospital, and the doctors checked her, cleaned her up, told her to go back home. We came back again one night, and it was crazy. The pain was crazy. So they had to admit her in the hospital. She began having sleepless nights. She couldn't sleep. And she was in the hospital for like a week. And since the hospital was just specialized in birth, mother and child, so she was transferred to General Hospital at CMS. That's where she was. And this was festive period, December, while everybody was enjoying themselves. Yeah, me, I was in the hospital, running from pillar to post, making sure she's okay. And sepsis set in. That's where the whole thing became worse. Morning, night, afternoon, rain, sun. I was in the hospital there with her. I only probably used to leave to shower or something. And on the 26th of December, that was the day she died. Yeah, 26th of December. I was there with her. We were talking, and she was all fine. She was sounding better than before. But that day, I just didn't know what happened. I just know what happened. She wanted to use the restroom, and I tried helping her stand from the bed. But I noticed when she came down, she became so heavy. So I tried to put her back on the bed. And that's where I found out that her eyes were really rolling back.
Okay.
So I called the nurse on duty. The nurse came, checked her. They asked me to step back. They called the doctor came. And while they were all trying to revive her, she was trying to talk to me. Her lips were moving, but words were not coming out. And that was the moment I knew that she had gone. 4 p.m., December 26th. So, that's just...
It's a lot.
It's so much, man.
Okay. I mean, like you said, it seemed like a long period knowing each other, but at the same time short. But I mean, something I've told my family that 2020 was actually, to me, was a blessing. She died 2021, but 2020 was actually a blessing for me because that was lockdown. So we spent so much time together, and we got married in 2019. So before you're married, it's not the same as when you're married. So we got married in November 2019. Then February, March, the coronavirus hit and stuff. So that period from that February to December was actually a blessing for me because we actually spent a lot more time together. So it was really an awesome period for me. But I mean, the whole process, I think pregnancy was, things probably the same, so just different experiences. Pregnancy was, the foundation of the whole thing. She's SS. But most people, I always tell people that wasn't what,
That's not like a big reason.
it wasn't like the big reason. The pregnancy was the big reason. So our pregnancy was a little bit complicated because our body had to, function triple. Apart from the fact that she's SS2, there's a baby as well. So the body has to work over time to cater for the extra need.
Yeah.
Exactly. So even after we lost the pregnancy, of which the doctors actually advised us to, so what's the word?
So let's go of it.
Exactly. Way earlier, but we kept saying if, because they didn't give us like a definite, you should, but you have to. They were like, you can, but you can also still see how far you can go. Because the target wasn't actually to get to 9 months. The target was to get to 6.5, 7 weeks. And if we could meet that time frame, then we could. Exactly. That was always the target. But we just tell people that was always the target. And we lost the baby exactly 6 months. Exactly 6 months. So even after that, even though I didn't have experience with that whole situation, I assumed okay, the pregnancy was the main problem. That's out of the way. Everything's supposed to get back to normal. Then we just find a way to grieve the loss of the baby girl and stuff. But today was okay, tomorrow was not so okay. The following day was okay. So it all seemed so weird and so uncertain. Then in November I started getting better. All the tests were running well, we showed improvements. Until January, I think second week in January, and she just went to hospital for a regular checks and all. And the doctor advised us to run deeper tests to check what's up. And he found out that our blood was, what's that word? Low on blood, low on blood. So she had to, yes. So she had to get blood transfusion. She did that first week. Then the doctor said she had to do it again the second week. That's very weird. No one is supposed to
keep getting blood like that.
It makes no sense. Then the third week, which was Monday, that's the Monday of the 21st. 21st was it? It could be Thursday, I think. Yes, 21st was it. So the Monday of that 21st, I was at the office. She was supposed to be discharged that Monday.
Okay.
Then the doctor just called that I was at the office. My office was at Ijora that time, I think. Yeah, Ijora. So the doctor just called that she has to be referred to a specialist hospital. And I was like, why? Like, you have to just come and. But even when I go to the hospital, she wasn't still. She wasn't. It was like there was nothing wrong. But I guess they figured it's better to, even though there's no definite thing we can put it on, but it's better if specialists handles the situation going forward, just so. So we're like, okay, fine. So all for me to just go park the car around because they didn't want her to walk. So they wanted her to sit on the yeah, wheelchair, yes. Then they wheel her to the car. So they asked me to go and repark. And just for me to go and repark to the door of the hospital, I had a brother call. Like, you have to rush upstairs. And I came back up as she was basically in a coma. That was the last time we spoke. So yeah.
Sad stuff.
Yeah, very sad stuff. Okay, so the next question I'll be asking is, what was the first emotion that hit you? You know, some people are in denial, some people are like, it can't be possible, some people are shocked, some people are confused. So what was the first emotion that actually hits you when it happened? I think I'll go with you first.
Because she was in a coma, and she was in a coma for 3 days. She was from Monday afternoon, evening till she died on Thursday morning. So on Monday, the first emotion that hit me was not even the afterthought of. I didn't think about that until she had actually passed on Thursday. But on Monday, the first thought that I had was, what the heck is going on? So I couldn't really place my thoughts on a particular thing. I was just like, what exactly is going on? I don't really know what is going on, but the doctors aren't really saying what's going on. Nobody's really saying what's going on. and I can't talk to her mom because her mom is
In another world. Then.
exactly. Her older brother is trying to be strong, but I can see that two is not okay. No, my family isn't really around because they don't really live close. So I don't know what's going on because nobody's saying what's going on. So I kept thinking like, what exactly is happening? Okay, you are telling us to go to a specialist hospital. We get to the specialist hospital. They too are not saying anything. They just keep saying, let's keep running tests, let's keep running tests. Okay, running tests for what exactly? Nobody's saying anything. So it wasn't until Thursday after she died, I was like, the first thing that hit my head, when I told my brother, the first thing that hit my head was, this country is a shitty country.
Yeah, because I can remember telling you when you were trying to revive, I was telling you they are still trying. You just told me, don't tell me that. We all know that country is messed up. I said,
That was the
I'm
first,
not talking again.
that was the first thing that came. That was the first thought I had. This
Like,
country is a
like
shitty country.
we all have the sentiment.
So what was the first emotion that hits you?
The first thing that came to mind was, where do I start from? Honestly. The second thing that came to my head was, do we really train our medical personnel here?
To perform their duties.
Sorry to say this, but some nurses don't know how to give CPR.
Okay.
I felt giving my late wife CPR would have helped her. The nurse was just standing there. She didn't know what to do.
Confused.
Now that I think about it, I think it was actually the same.
I was
I
was angry, and at the same time, I was sad. I didn't know what to do. I was just crying. I just started crying. Honestly. At that point, you won't know what to think. You won't know what to do. In short, you just feel so helpless. You feel so helpless.
I'd like to ask is, during grieving process, a lot of people come to see you. So like the house is jam-packed, or they might even tell you don't go to your house, stay in this person's house from the time being. So when like somebody that is grieving now, when everybody leaves and the emotion now is like the reality that okay, I'm actually alone, quote and unquote. Was there a feeling of loneliness, and how did you handle that? Did you feel lonely? Obviously, you said you said you felt helpless, but was there a season of loneliness, and how did you cope with that? Like if you are talking to somebody now.
Definitely, you will feel lonely. You know what it is when you wake up every morning with the love of your life, someone you have pictured the next 50 years, 60 years with. Every single day you wake up with that person, and just one day it just changes like that. You know that you're not going to see this person anymore. I can't explain what it feels like to you because
I've not walked that journey.
I pray you don't.
Amen.
But it's not something you can explain. You would feel lonely. At a point, I started feeling regret. Why I say this is because, like I told him, there will get to a point you might start regretting you loved. It's not as if you didn't love your wife, but there will be a point you would feel that you should have done more for this person.
You didn't show enough. You didn't.
It's not as if you didn't. I don't know if you get. It's not as if you didn't. You would give everything for your spouse. But that guilt might just, I don't know if it's the devil or it's your mind playing games on you. You will just have, that was how I was feeling. I loved my wife.
But like, you do enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you do enough. Yeah.
You just feel like, okay, I had 10 naira. I will give her 5 naira. If she was alive, I would have given her 8 naira. Let me just manage 2 naira. That's the kind of feeling you start having. That was the feeling I was having. So that loneliness will just hit. Like, there was something my aunt told me. I was at the hospital, they came to pick. I drove to the hospital, but I couldn't drive back.
Yeah.
So my dad sent someone to pick me with my sister. I go home, the house was full, and
Oh,
I was
they actually let you go back to your house?
no, not my house.
Okay.
I took my father's house.
Because I'm like this. Immediately they took my keys and I didn't
They
like
took
this.
me back to my father's house. It was already filled up. I wanted to perform. I'm a man. Don't cry. Immediately I entered my room. My auntie came to me. I was like, I'm not crying. I said, no. She said, you better start crying. She said, let it out. As in, just let it out. And that was when I never knew I had much tears. Honestly, I just cried. As in,
You crowed. You not cried. You crowed.
after like 15-20 minutes, I just asked for my baby. She was barely 2 weeks. She was born on the 7th of December. Her mom died 26th of December. I just asked for her and carried her and I slept off. That was the last I could remember for that day.
Yeah. So how was it for you? How did you handle the loneliness and like how was it?
I'm not, honestly, to be honest, I don't think I've handled the loneliness to some extent. But I mean, it gets slowly. Because I mean, I live alone too, so he's married now, so it might not be as, but I know I feel it. Some days I just, I mean, especially when I come back from work and I'm alone at night, I just wonder like, because I never pictured, like you said, you've pictured and you've kind of planned the future with this person. And all of a sudden, the page just turns and it's a whole new
Ball game altogether.
whole new chapter, whole new, that you have to now write by yourself on your own. So sometimes it's just, well, like I said, a day at a time. So you try to not try to think too far ahead, or not to think too, what's the word? Not to look back too much. It's one step at a time.
So do you feel like this affected your relationship with God? Because obviously during that the whole chaos that was happening, you must have been praying that God, please, and you hear stories of how God came through for other people, and you're like, you have faith. People even call you from church, don't worry, we are praying for you. She cannot die, and all of that. So did this affect, you hear some people saying, I can't pray again, I can't read my Bible, I can't, like they can't even seem to figure out how God allowed a good person to die. So did this shake your faith in God? I'll start with you.
Yes and no. I'll say yes because I watched her throughout that process. And I think that was the period this NSDPP, that was when it was starting. So I mean, it was in the lockdown period, so I was going to work most of the time, but she was just throughout, just working from home. So I saw her throughout that process, and I saw how she tried to really put her teeth into her faith and like really
put her
dig in.
faith to work.
Yeah, like really dig in. So it was kind of sad to see how it ended. So in that, I would say sometimes I think about it of like, good things should be bad things should happen to good people. But at the same time, I would say no because, like I told him after, like some weeks after, like I had my closure like 4 days after she died.
Okay.
So that really helped me move on and not really think about it and not really blame God or do anything, because I always feel like, or I felt like my relationship with her and the time we spent was ordained by God. So if I feel that way, then there's really no point letting it affect or think maybe God should have done this different or I should have done it. Because I mean, I just ended it all as everybody deserves happiness. Everybody deserves to be loved. And I was chosen to walk up to that point. That was my closure.
So how was it for you? Did it affect your faith in God?
Sorry, excuse me. Well, I remember the day she died. my sister came to pick me up from the hospital. And it was just as if she was reading my mind.
Okay.
The first thing she told me, don't question God. I won't lie. The amount of questions in my head.
If you
but you know,
if you jab God, wait till they happen.
everybody says that, and sometimes I don't even know what it means. Everybody says that, I don't know what it means. Fine.
You know, she was just like, that was all she just told me, like, don't question God. Because at a point, I was like, why did this have to happen to me? We prayed, we fasted. Her uncle, the priest that, her uncle that wedded us, is also a priest. He's a Catholic, so every single day, booking mass, we're at home praying for her, you know. At the end of the day, God still took her. Well, at a point, I was like, man, this whole Christianity, I'm being honest, this whole Christianity thing,
It's just bullshit.
but at the same time, I knew this isn't what she would have wanted for me.
Okay.
Yeah. At the same time, she would have wanted me to go closer to God, raise our child in a godly way, you know. So I just had to live with the whole thing.
That's really.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, you know, when people come to visit you, they say, take heart, like it is well, and don't question God. Do you feel like there's a certain way people should approach people that are grieving? Or there are some certain words that should not be said to people that are grieving? I'll start with you.
There's a saying in Pidgin, who no go, no no. If it doesn't happen to you, you can't know how that person is feeling.
So don't say you understand.
So don't say, I understand.
Don't say.
Don't say it.
It's actually a very annoying statement, to be honest.
Don't just say
Very
it.
annoying statement.
You can just come spend time with the person.
Which is all that matters, to be honest.
Exactly.
Which is all that matters.
But
For the person to know that
sorry,
you are there and you
sorry,
see the
all
person.
those-
That's all. You don't need to. I mean, that process for me was the most annoying. That period was the most annoying for me. Was the most annoying. And to be honest, sometimes my attitude is not good. So I can be a very good person sometimes. So if we didn't even kind of have a relationship before it happened, why are you calling me? Why are you texting? I don't want to see anything. So there's so many people that called that period that I didn't have their numbers. Maybe I don't have your number and I see your text and your name is not attached to the text. I don't even respond because I don't know what I'm responding to. So don't text me, don't call me, don't visit. If you, my guys came around that time.
It's not safe.
All we did was
the
play.
person grieving is trying to be rude.
Yeah.
No.
But that's
Sometimes
not
they
what
just
I
need
used to
that
hear
space to.
that time.
It's not as if they're trying to be rude by not answering your text or replying. No. But the way that person is feeling at that moment, I just feel he or she just wants to be.
Just to be alone.
Yeah.
And this is for people that tell people how to grieve. Like,
You can't
you
tell.
see people crying and say, your husband died, you did not cry. Your child died, you're on social media. Like, please just keep your opinions to yourself and let people grieve how they like. I think I just wanted to chip that in. But do you feel like widows, everybody knows, like, widow, their husband dies, but you know, it's weird kind of to see like a widower walk through the process of grief and show it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you feel like the society, like personally, do you feel like there was like a stigmatization from the society, like when you resumed work or when you went to church, do you feel like people looked at you somehow or gave you this pity party nonsense? Like, how do you feel like the society affected your grieving process? Let me put it like that.
I don't think in any way. It didn't affect me in any way.
Okay.
Because in that moment, you're in your own world. You're in your own world. Every other person outside don't really matter. Personally for me. You just be in your own world. You go out, people will just sometimes I don't even hear what they say. You just nod your head, thank you. Just move on. Honestly, you're in your own world.
What about for you?
Well, I mean, one not an important fact is for men, it's not the same as for women.
Women,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's
what
not
I'm
the
trying
same.
to say.
It's
Yeah.
not the same for women. So women tend to, I mean, they are exposed to a lot more tradition
Don't go out,
and stuff like that.
smoking,
Stuff like
yeah.
that. So for men, it's totally different. But for me, there was no stigma. I mean, I think I only really didn't go out for like maybe a month or something, and that was because I didn't want to go out. It's not.
It's not
So,
like there was any.
Yeah, I even called my boss at the office that I have to resume after a month. They were even saying, she was like, no, like
Yeah.
Take your time.
take your time. I was like, no, like
True.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
So, what advice do you think you can give somebody that is in that situation right now? Like having walked that journey. Obviously, everybody says you'll be fine, it'll be better, but I feel like grieving is for like a lifetime.
It is.
So, what advice or what would you, somebody that is going through that journey and just wants to know if I will ever be fine, like what do you have to tell that person?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can.
Life is short.
Exactly. That's just
Life is too short.
that's just not how in my head.
That experience that I had opened my eyes and my thoughts to so many things. Life is too damn
It's too
short.
short.
Enjoy yourself. You want to spend time to grieve, you want to spend time to mourn, perfectly okay. But life is too short.
True.
Life is too short. You can't keep going about thinking, and there are days that I might go out with my guys and stuff, and when I get back home, I just zone out. I remember that first year, I was zoning out a lot in public. I would just sit. I might be at the office working, and for a few seconds I just zone out, and I'm staring at blank, nothing, and you just zone out, and you just, that happens, and it's perfectly okay for you to go through that. But life is too short. You have to move on. And I'm not. It's easier said, yes, but I'm not also saying find someone and get married. If you want to do that, fine. If you know yourself, like for me, I always tell people that I know I'm going to get married again. I know God created me to be a family man. I wasn't designed to spend his life alone. I know that. So I know I'm going to get married again. But
When
there's still.
You was good.
We'll
discuss that later.
No, my God, get out. But I'm like, you have to move on and enjoy yourself. And I know from after my wife died, I now have experienced so many new things that I always thought I was this open-minded, free-spirited person. But after my wife died, I was like, nah, I wasn't really yet. I mean, we're having fun and enjoying our company, but I wasn't really like. I can realize like now, like there's so many things that I didn't do. Like, you can't go about life not
enjoying yourself.
Make a list of things you want to do and spend time doing those things.
I don't talk everything like that now.
Life is
Honestly,
life is too short.
Like,
life is too short.
Like I said earlier, you would wish you did extra for this woman. And now that by the grace of God, I'm settled down again. When I look back at those things that I couldn't do, or those things I should have done extra, I just do them now.
No time.
No time,
Honestly.
man. Just enjoy yourself.
You want to, you want to have investments, you want to
Just
build
do
house,
it.
but you know what carry all these things going from.
Exactly.
You know what carry the money going from.
Okay, so I want to ask another question. Okay, you said that your wife had a child and your wife didn't have a child.
Mhm.
Do you think that moving on, having a child and not having a child kind of affects the pace at which you move on? You know, some people say, at least they never born now. So if another wife comes, she not go see any child maltreat. And sorry, I don't mean like any offense to your wife. But people say, don't get pikin, no. Like watch the person you marry. The person might not like the child and treat. So do you feel like it affects anything?
Well, it depends. It depends. Like, when I decided to even settle down, I already had thoughts of settling down even before I started hearing, you don't tell now, you don't tell how far. You know, I stayed for like 5 years before I settled down again.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't feel that long.
Hmm?
It didn't feel that long.
It didn't feel that long. Time. For like 5 years, yeah. So I already needed to move on. My child was very young. I knew she needed a mother figure.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't have sisters or in-laws, but like I said, I'm built to be a family man. You know? So she just needed that mother figure to train her, to tell her certain things and all that. So that was just it for me. I don't think I had any, though I heard stories. I've heard stories of stepmoms maltreating, but I believe before you settle down with someone, some people say, yeah, outside marriage should be all nice, but when you enter the house, one important thing I always tell people is clear the person you are going to. Yeah, exactly. Let her know. Let her know what you, even if she has heard it before, let her know what's
It's acceptable and what is
Exactly.
not acceptable.
let her just know so that you guys will have an understanding. It's not when you turn your back, she begins to do something else to your child. She should be ready to take that child as her own. No discrimination, nothing. Take this child as your own. The way you treat this child when I'm there, treat her the same when I'm not there. Just let her know.
So it's based on the understanding of the two
Exactly.
partners generally. So do you feel like not having a child is like, do you feel like it's a plus to you? Like, I don't know if that sounds okay.
No,
but
I understand.
do you feel like it's a plus?
To be honest, I actually wish we had a child. I tell people that I actually wish we had a child. It probably would have, slowed down the pace of me thinking I need to settle down again. I know that if I had a child, I probably would have, honestly. Because I'll be telling myself what's the point.
At least you don't want one.
Honestly. And to be honest, I don't even think I want to have more than one. Maybe once, mistake by mistake.
Your mother might watch this.
She knows. She knows. I don't, after one, maybe mistake happen again.
Your mom now.
Maybe mistake again the second one.
She will call you after this, don't worry.
So, it probably would have slowed down my pace, but I guess God has his reasons. So, it probably didn't, not really, didn't really affect my pace or anything. I think it's just
So another question I want to ask is, you have moved on now, or you are moving on. Definitely, I will not ask if it's difficult to find love and happiness again because you are married and I feel like you're moving on little by little. But do you feel like there's this guilty conscience that comes with moving on? Like maybe from people, don't they move on sharp, or even you yourself, like you feel like I'm betraying this person, like so I can love another person as much as I love this person. Do you feel like there's that whole confusion and that whole bubble? And what do you want to say?
Most times I go through that. Sometimes I feel I'm with someone now, so it's actually very important that, and I hope I tell her enough that I actually do appreciate the fact that she is patient. Not every woman, true. She knows she's not in competition with my late wife. But I think at the same time, not every woman understands that it's a process.
Yeah.
And time needs to help
That
transition
okay, yeah, I like that
his
word.
mind from
That person
where it was to
not.
where it should be.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate her for that. But sometimes I still, and sometimes she notices it, and she'll just be like, "Do you need your space? We can talk in the morning, or we can whenever you call, text me." So sometimes it's still goes. It's still fresh. It's just 2 years in January. So sometimes I still catch myself feeling maybe guilty like
it's too early. How can I move on?
Yeah,
how can I just love another person?
It's difficult sometimes, but because at the end sometimes too I fight with myself like life is too short. You have to. Everybody deserves to feel loved again. So you have to. But so it doesn't mean sometimes you still don't think about it like, are you sure this is what you should do? Like, take your time, but how much time does one need? So,
take your time, but how much time do you need? So, do you feel that guilty conscience, journey, and all of that?
At a point I did. But when we're getting married, it was till death was part. So, like he said, you just need to move on. And another thing that will help you is the person that is going to help you move on.
Okay, so there's a journey for that person to...
Exactly.
Okay.
The patience, like you said. Some people might not just be too patient or understanding. Yeah, they know what you've gone through, but some people are just expected to. Like you said, sometimes you just zone out. You just have a conversation with this person.
Sorry, now that you're married, if you don't want me to put it on
No.
problem. But now that you're married, do you feel like there are days you still catch yourself like thinking about the other person?
It's normal. It's
So
normal.
how do you, because if you catch yourself thinking about the other person and maybe your wife comes up, you might react in...
You don't do it when she's there.
Okay, so
Like
how
what?
do you compartmentalize that
Most of the
stuff?
time, stuff like that come when you're alone, anyways.
Exactly. When you're alone.
Mm.
And what I just smile. I just smile. When you know she lived a good life but short life, or rather short life but a good life, you just smile. When another thing is, you know you have a daughter or a child outside your present marriage, so it's not even. Sometimes you might not even have to look at her picture.
Just seeing your daughter
When you see the child,
brings back
exactly.
memories.
If you see my child, for example, everybody says she looks like me.
I don't think so, though.
Oh, you don't?
Mm.
But when I see her, I see
Her mom.
her mom. As in, I see her mom. But every other person, I always be this. You know. But when I see her, so that's just how it is for me. You don't necessarily have to look at her picture or something. Yeah, sometimes I catch myself looking at, but I just smile. I know I have moved on. I know I've started another chapter in my life. But you can't just forget about
That chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe I'll just ask 2 more questions and we are good to go. How did this affect your relationship with your in-laws? I know that, okay, you have a child, so definitely you might be in their life or they might be in your life forever. But how are you able to... Okay, I think I'll take the 2 questions in. Let me come back to you. How did this affect your relationship with your in-laws?
To be honest with you, I think I can be honest to say that we actually are in a better place than when she was alive. Not like we had any issues there, but we're actually a lot more closer than
When she was
Yeah,
alive.
when she
So
was
it didn't cause like
at all.
separation.
The thing is, funny thing is, to be honest, their thoughts after she died, their thoughts and their care towards me actually helped me move on better. Because they understood the entire process. They were in the loop on everything, especially her mom. So she knew how everything started and how it ended. So even I was still at a place like 2 weeks ago. So she travels to the village just to spend time. So when she comes back, she calls and she come around. So I was at a place 2 weeks ago and she was like, "Boss,
How far?
Are you not there?"
I still go
Are you not bringing another person for me?
She was like, "No doubt, we might not still be, but if you want to get married, I will still know now. If you have a child, you must still my kid.
Yeah.
So how far? When are you bringing somebody else? Time they go. So we're actually in a better place than
So I want to ask also, how did it affect your relationship with your in-laws? And again, knowing that you have a daughter, how are you able to put the boundary in your marriage now? Do you understand? Okay, so now you have a child. Your wife might not... Sorry, if it's offensive, I can cut it out. Your wife might maybe have issues with maybe your wife's sister just popping up to say hi, or saying maybe she wants to go there for holiday. So how are you able to... So practically she has 3 families. She has your daughter's family. So how are you able to navigate that?
I said earlier, she has to understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
And where you both are presently.
Okay.
I don't have issues with my in-laws. In fact, they've exceeded my expectation.
Wow, that's good.
As in, they've been supportive. Anything I would need to do. Sometimes I even feel I might not be appreciating them enough. Because you watch movies and you see all sorts of things happening in movies and be like, why is this in-law treating? But it's not the same. They've been so supportive and it has really helped. And for my in-laws to come to my house to spend time, my wife don't have no issues at all. No issues.
So I feel like maybe the Nigerian drama generally affects our mentality, and we think that everything
is like that.
everything is like that. But there are some people that are still having it good. So I hope that this video encourages somebody that has lost a loved one, maybe a man or a woman. And if you guys like have maybe any last words, you can just say it before we wrap up. Do you have any last
Last
words?
words. Life is short, so enjoy yourself.
To be honest, that's all I was
Life is short, man.
That's all I was gonna say.
Just enjoy yourself. Hold on. Everything will just be fine in the end. Everything will be fine in the end.
Sometimes we can't control these things, so
Yeah.
don't stress about what you can't control.
Don't stress about what you can't control. Thank you so much. It was nice having you guys, and I actually enjoyed the honest conversation. The reason why I'm ending this video, even if I still have many questions, because I feel like it's already super long. So thank you. I'm very grateful. If you waited to the end of this video, thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and leave a comment if you have walked through the journey of grief, what has helped you and what you feel can help others. Thank you so much.